A wave of concern swept through fans this week as reports and online chatter suggested a deeply emotional period for Erin Krakow, with sources claiming the actress has been struggling through what many are calling a pregnancy nightmare. According to close observers, Erin was seen visibly shaken and emotional amid fears surrounding a possible health crisis involving her baby. Those close to the situation describe a tense and frightening atmosphere, one that left her husband, Ben Rosenbaum, completely stunned. Known for being Erin's calm and steady support system, Ben reportedly appeared overwhelmed as uncertainty and worry took center stage in their private lives. While official details remain limited, speculation intensified after Erin was noticeably absent from recent public appearances and social activity. Fans were quick to express alarm, with many pointing out subtle signs of stress and exhaustion in her last known outings. Online discussions rapidly filled with messages of prayer, support, and concern for both Erin and her unborn child. Insiders suggest that the emotional toll has been heavy, with Erin leaning closely on family and her husband during this difficult time. Friends say the couple has been prioritizing privacy as they navigate what is believed to be a serious but closely monitored situation. This is every parent's worst fear, one source shared, adding that the experience has brought both heartbreak and intense anxiety. Despite the fear surrounding the reported health scare, supporters remain hopeful. Fans from around the world have flooded social media with encouragement, urging strength and resilience for the couple. Many have praised Ben for standing firmly by Erin's side, calling their bond unbreakable during moments of crisis. As concern continues to grow, admirers are waiting anxiously for reassurance that Erin and her baby are safe. For now, the couple's silence speaks volumes, underscoring the gravity of the moment and the emotional storm they are said to be facing behind closed doors.
Erin Krakow is gearing up for a season full of hope, and it's not just on screen. Find out what's next for the beloved star, both in her roles and her real life. Way back in 2014, my sister sent me a familiar text. "Have you seen this show?" We don't live close enough to watch TV together, so we instead put each other onto things we can just obsess over on the phone. A link soon followed for When Calls the Heart, a Hallmark period drama set in the early 1900s about a wealthy young teacher who leaves her comfortable city life to lead a school in a coal mining town called Hope Valley. If you'd asked me a decade ago whether I'd still be invested in the show today, I would not have guessed yes. But my sister obviously sensed there was something inside of this wholesome Hallmark series that would hook me, and she was right. Over the years, I've come to think of it as the modern-day answer to Little House on the Prairie, the same kind of simple, comforting TV, probably on in the background when we were growing up. Is the allure of When Calls the Heart driven by nostalgia, a lingering fascination with the rugged West, or could it be the increasing desire to sink into something slower and a little more analog? Whatever the reason, the fandom is real. Season 12 drew in 6.1 million viewers, and here, on the cusp of the 13th season, fans still look forward to returning to this fictional town with its charming residents. Which leads us to Erin Krakow, who has spent more than a decade bringing the heart of the series, Elizabeth Thornton, to life. I caught up with the Hallmark star, who's expecting her first child with co-star turned husband, Ben Rosenbaum, to chat all things Hope Valley and what's in store as she enters a new season, both on and off screen. Erin Krakow. Every season offers me something new to chew on and play with as Elizabeth. This year, I've really enjoyed exploring what it means to be a protective mom, some might say overprotective mom, who is learning to let go with the help of Nathan. I think there's something really relatable about that dynamic. And then also the growing love story between not just Elizabeth and Nathan, but Elizabeth and Allie, and Nathan and little Jack. That's been really beautiful to bring to life. Wouldn't that be nice? She's made her own bed in some of these chapters, I'll give her that. But yeah, it does feel like it's time for Elizabeth and Nathan to have some romantic peace, to get to enjoy their love story without too many internal or external complications. And I think that we get to see a lot of that this season.
we have continued to talk about Jack Sr. over the years. We mentioned him in episodes, his photo is still sprinkled around Elizabeth's row house, but I think bringing Charlotte back into the fold almost brings his character back to life in a different way. We get to experience him and his history through her. That familial connection is just, it's more meaningful than any story Elizabeth might be able to share with little Jack. And little Jack is at an age where he's becoming much more curious about his father. So it was just such a wonderful experience having Brooke back with us. She's an incredible person and actor, and I'd been wanting to bring Charlotte back to the show for many years. I'm thrilled that it finally happened. In many ways, the Jack and Elizabeth love story was the bedrock of our show. I think seeing Elizabeth fall in love for the first time and the chemistry that Elizabeth and Jack shared will always be meaningful to the fans. Obviously, we wanted to be respectful and supportive when Daniel decided he wanted to move on from One Calls the Heart, so we just had to explore new stories and see where Elizabeth's life would take her. The conspiracy theories, I've seen one or two. They're pretty funny. But I think it's really nice to see that Elizabeth is very, very happy in her new life now. And what a beautiful blended family they're creating. And that Charlotte, Jack Sr.'s mother, really does give her blessing. It means the world to me. I am over the moon thrilled. I love Lori Loughlin as a friend, as a co-star, as a human being. And I just feel like let this be a true chapter of joy for her, on screen and off. We just can't wait to get her back to Hope Valley. And this is really going to open up some exciting stories, not just for Abigail, but every character who connects with her. We haven't started writing, but I'm like, let's go. I'm excited to see the Elizabeth-Abigail reunion, but I'm really excited to see the Henry-Abigail reunion. Ugh, it's the best. It was such a surprise to learn that we were all pregnant at the same time and due within 6 weeks of each other. It has been so nice to be able to lean on one another and ask questions. Is this normal? How are you preparing for this? Did you find a stroller? It's nice to have a community you can lean on, and it feels pretty comparable to the way we handle life in Hope Valley. So art imitating life, or vice versa. But it's really been very special, and it's probably my favorite chapter of my life so far. I can't wait to see what next year brings. Yes, actually. I just wanted pickles on everything, and I didn't reveal the news to our cast and crew until later in the season. But yeah, Crafty was starting to wonder, I heard, after the fact. They were like, she is asking for extra pickles every time she gets a sandwich. Is there something that we should be aware of? I am trying not to over-Google or over-read. I think that is helping to protect me from being terrified because I'm just very much taking it one day at a time. And everybody who becomes a parent figures out how to parent in their own way. So I'm kind of counting on that. It's all going to be fine. Namaste. But something I'm really looking forward to, I just want to sniff that baby's head. I just want to breathe in that delicious newborn smell. Oh, so good. Kindness, forgiveness, being an active community member and being there to support your friends and neighbors, yeah, that's really important. As When Calls the Heart, one of Hallmark Channel's most enduring and beloved series, returns for its monumental 13th season this January, its leading lady Erin Krakow finds herself at a powerful crossroads, celebrated on screen for her role as Elizabeth Thornton, and experiencing a life-changing real-world chapter as she prepares for motherhood and embraces new opportunities, both personally and professionally. For Hardies and casual viewers alike, When Calls the Heart has always been more than just a period drama. Set in the fictional Hope Valley of the early 1900s, it's a series that follows the trials, triumphs, loves, and losses of its tight-knit frontier community. But as audiences tune in to see what's next for Elizabeth and her family in season 13, Krakow's own life story is unfolding in parallel with equal measures of optimism, vulnerability, and grounded joy. Elizabeth Thornton, the well-meaning and resilient schoolteacher at the heart of One Calls the Heart, has experienced more than her fair share of highs and lows over the course of the series' long run. From leaving her comfort-filled city life to teach in a coal mining community, to navigating the loss of her first husband and building a blended family, her story has resonated with audiences seeking heart, courage, and hope. In interviews leading up to the new season, Krakow, who is also an executive producer on the show, has spoken about how season 13 promises to deepen these emotional themes while offering moments of heartfelt peace and growth for Elizabeth. We've really enjoyed exploring what it means to be a protective mom, some might say overprotective mom, who is learning to let go with the help of Nathan. I think there's something really relatable about that dynamic. And then also the growing love story between not just Elizabeth and Nathan, but Elizabeth and Allie, and Nathan and little Jack. That's been really beautiful to bring to life. Wouldn't that be nice? She's made her own bed in some of these chapters, I'll give her that. But yeah, it does feel like it's time for Elizabeth and Nathan to have some romantic peace, to get to enjoy their love story without too many internal or external complications. And I think that we get to see a lot of that this season. We have continued to talk about Jack Sr. over the years. We mentioned him in episodes, his photo is still sprinkled around Elizabeth's row house, but I think bringing Charlotte back into the fold almost brings his character back to life in a different way. We get to experience him and his history through her. That familial connection is just, it's more meaningful than any story Elizabeth might be able to share with little Jack. And little Jack is at an age where he's becoming much more curious about his father. So it was just such a wonderful experience having Brooke back with us. She's an incredible person and actor, and I'd been wanting to bring Charlotte back to the show for many years. I'm thrilled that it finally happened. In many ways, the Jack and Elizabeth love story was the bedrock of our show. I think seeing Elizabeth fall in love for the first time and the chemistry that Elizabeth and Jack shared will always be meaningful to the fans. Obviously, we wanted to be respectful and supportive when Daniel decided he wanted to move on from When Calls the Heart, so we just had to explore new stories and see where Elizabeth's life would take her. The conspiracy theories, I've seen one or two. They're pretty funny. But I think it's really nice to see that Elizabeth is very, very happy in her new life now. And what a beautiful blended family they're creating. And that Charlotte, Jack Sr.'s mother, really does give her blessing. It means the world to me. I am over the moon thrilled. I love Lori Loughlin as a friend, as a co-star, as a human being. And I just feel like let this be a true chapter of joy for her, on screen and off. We just can't wait to get her back to Hope Valley. And this is really going to open up some exciting stories, not just for Abigail, but every character who connects with her. We haven't started writing, but I'm like, let's go. I'm excited to see the Elizabeth-Abigail reunion, but I'm really excited to see the Henry-Abigail reunion. Ugh, it's the best. It was such a surprise to learn that we were all pregnant at the same time and due within 6 weeks of each other. It has been so nice to be able to lean on one another and ask questions. Is this normal? How are you preparing for this? Did you find a stroller?
Perhaps no development has delighted fans more than the return of beloved cast members and the announcement of future installments in the When Calls the Heart universe. For example, original cast member Lori Loughlin is confirmed to rejoin the series as Abigail Stanton in season 14, marking a joyful comeback nearly 7 years after her departure. These expansions not only honor the show's legacy, but also promise new ways to explore Hope Valley's spirit of optimism, tradition, and communal strength. Wrapping filming, ready for air, anticipation builds. Behind the scenes, Krakow has been intimately involved with the show's production, helping to shepherd season 13 from script room to wrap. In October, she shared on social media that filming had concluded and teased fans with glimpses of both the cast's camaraderie and creative momentum. Season 13's premiere, scheduled for January 4th, 2026 on Hallmark Channel, with streaming available on Hallmark Plus, has sparked excitement across the series' global fan base, affectionately known as Hearties. The announcement itself was accompanied by promotional material featuring Krakow and her on-screen partner, Kevin McGarry, Nathan Grant, reinforcing the show's mix of heartfelt emotion and small-town charm. This momentum arrives at a time when fans seek comfort television more than ever, a place where familiar faces, gentle pacing, and stories about kindness and community remain not just entertaining, but reassuring.
Krakow's leadership, both in front of and behind the camera, has helped make When Calls the Heart feel like a sanctuary for viewers tired of darker, high stakes dramas that dominate modern television. Life Beyond the Set. Erin Krakow's personal chapter of joy. While When Calls the Heart remains a central focus of her professional life, Krakow is also experiencing one of the most meaningful personal transitions of her life, becoming a mother. In late November 2025, she publicly revealed that she and her husband, fellow actor Ben Rosenbaum, are expecting their first child together. The news quickly swept through entertainment circles and fan communities, greeted with warm wishes from co-stars and supporters alike. The couple's joy was palpable in Krakow's social media announcement, where she shared sonogram photos alongside their dog, adorably dressed in a shirt that read Big Brother. For many fans, the alignment of Krakow's real-life pregnancy with her on-screen portrayals of motherhood enriches both experiences. While When Calls the Heart tells fictional stories of families navigating life's unpredictable paths, Krakow's off-camera journey adds a layer of real-world resonance that many viewers find inspiring. Asked recently about her approach to parenthood, Krakow admitted she's intentionally not allowing herself to over-Google everything, aiming instead to take things one day at a time. Looking ahead, she said what she's most excited for is simply to breathe in that delicious newborn smell, highlighting a refreshingly candid and joyful anticipation. This candid approach extends beyond excited tweets and Instagram posts. Krakow has spoken about embracing the uncertainty that comes with becoming a parent, leaning into the collective wisdom of friends, family, and her own lived experiences, rather than obsessing over every possible variable. It's a perspective rooted in humility and curiosity, the kind of mindset that attracts admiration from fans who have watched her grow over more than a decade in the public eye. In recent conversations, Krakow has also reflected on the deeper themes that When Calls the Heart promotes, values she hopes will endure both within the show's storytelling and in her own life as a future parent. At the top of her list are kindness, forgiveness, and community involvement, values that have been constants in Elizabeth's journey from city teacher to frontier matriarch. She pointed out that the series regularly showcases neighbors helping neighbors, standing up for what's right, and offering compassion when it's needed most. These aren't just narrative devices, they are traits she believes matter profoundly in today's world. Krakow has said she would love for her child to grow up internalizing these lessons, ones that When Calls the Heart has delivered to its audiences season after season. In an era where entertainment often leans towards cynicism, hyper-violence, or shock value, Krakow's emphasis on gentler virtues is a reminder that stories about good people trying to do right still have space and fervent audiences in contemporary culture. As When Calls the Heart enters its 13th season, with a 14th already announced and additional spin-off projects expanding the franchise, Krakow's role within this narrative universe feels more pivotal than ever. She has become not only a face of the series, but a guiding voice for its themes of resilience, empathy, and community cohesion. For her personal journey, the intersection of career dedication and family milestones paints a picture of someone approaching life with purposeful engagement. In an industry where privacy and balance are often elusive, Krakow's grounded perspective serves as both a model for her peers and a source of connection for fans. And for audiences who have watched Hope Valley grow episode by episode, the promise of new stories, along with Krakow's own new beginning off camera, brings a tangible sense of hope for what's ahead. In the weeks and months to come, as When Calls the Heart airs its new episodes and Krakow steps into parenthood, viewers will no doubt be watching, not just for the narrative twists in Hope Valley, but for the genuine joy and transformation unfolding in the life of one of Hallmark's most cherished stars. When Calls the Heart isn't just a show, it has become a cultural touchstone for viewers who crave narratives that combine romance, family, and moral integrity. Over the years, Hearties have formed a passionate community, sharing fan art, commentary, and even charitable initiatives inspired by the series' ethos of kindness and generosity. Erin Krakow has often acknowledged the profound connection she feels with fans. In interviews, she emphasizes that while the actors bring life to the script, it's the audience's engagement that makes Hope Valley thrive. When someone tells me that watching Elizabeth and Nathan's journey made them feel hopeful about their own lives, it reminds me why I love doing this work, Krakow shared. This reciprocal energy between cast and audience has contributed to the show's longevity. While many programs face cancellation after just a few seasons, When Calls the Heart has sustained its relevance by prioritizing human emotion over sensationalism. Fans return season after season, eager for gentle storytelling, moral resolution, and the reassuring sight of familiar faces navigating life's ups and downs. Portraying Elizabeth Thornton over 13 seasons has not been without its challenges. Krakow has spoken candidly about the emotional intensity of stepping into a role that deals with loss, personal growth, and societal expectations, all while maintaining authenticity. Filming can be physically taxing, with period-appropriate costumes, outdoor sets, and long shooting days. Yet Krakow's approach balances professionalism with mindfulness. I've learned how to compartmentalize, she explained. On set, I give everything to Elizabeth. Off set, I need to recharge, whether that's with family, reading, or just quiet reflection. Her off-screen resilience mirrors Elizabeth's on-screen journey, embracing change while remaining steadfast in one's values. Krakow credits her husband, Ben Rosenbaum, and her tight-knit production team with supporting her through both the emotional and physical demands of the role. This symbiosis between her personal and professional life helps explain why she approaches season 13 with such optimism and energy. With the announcement of her pregnancy, Krakow is entering a transformative chapter that promises both joy and logistical challenges. For many working actors, balancing filming schedules with family commitments requires creativity and negotiation. In Krakow's case, her role as both lead actor and executive producer affords her some flexibility, allowing her to pace the shooting schedule in alignment with her personal needs. I'm incredibly fortunate to work with a team that values well-being as much as storytelling, she noted. While she has not revealed the precise due date, she reassures fans that her maternity will not interrupt the narrative continuity of When Calls the Heart. Storylines have been crafted to accommodate this exciting life event, integrating it with natural character arcs rather than disrupting the plot. For Krakow, motherhood represents a new lens through which to view her work. Playing Elizabeth as a mother has always informed how I approach my own life, she shared. There's this beautiful interplay between fictional and real experiences. They inform each other in ways I never anticipated. While When Calls the Heart remains central to her career, Krakow is also exploring opportunities outside of Hope Valley. She has expressed interest in projects that challenge her creatively, ranging from feature films to independent dramas that explore contemporary issues with nuance and sensitivity. Krakow believes that diversifying her portfolio is essential not only for professional growth, but also for keeping her craft fresh. It's important to step outside familiar territory sometimes, she said. Whether it's a different genre, a new character type, or even directing, it helps me evolve as an actor and storyteller. Fans can expect Krakow to continue leveraging her visibility to take on projects that reflect her values, narratives that are character-driven, emotionally resonant, and rooted in authentic human experience. Legacy and the future of Hope Valley. As the series evolves into its 13th season, Krakow is acutely aware of the legacies she is helping to cultivate. When Calls the Heart has become more than episodic entertainment, it's a reflection of timeless human themes: love, resilience, morality, and the importance of community. Her dual role as lead actress and executive producer positions her to shape both the creative direction and the cultural impact of the show.